It's very interesting to listen to.
McDonald's hamburgers are the worst. They are worse than Burger King.
Because that's the thing. Part of the reason why art is cool is not because of isn't just because you enjoy like the content, right? It's because you understand what the art like says about something else, and in particular you understand you believe the art to be like the art like encodes something, whether or not it encodes like regardless of whether or not the artist actually put some quote unquote meaning into it, what art encodes is the material realities within which the artist lives.
That's exactly
right?
what, that's the thing, right? Is like, no, because that's the other thing. That's the real connection that I make with Viper, right? Is not so much necessarily the content or even like the way it's produced, but it is kind of very similar though. It is like, yeah, because there's also a million of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. He made a lot of music, right?
Right.
And it all does sound like that, and it's very similar in this kind of way, like Viper does, where like, yeah, no, a lot of the tracks are just like the same track, like reversed or whatever. In the same way, it's like, yeah, no, like pull up I Whooped Batman's Ass, because that's a very good one.
Batman got on my nerves. He was running me amok. He ridiculed me, calling me a bum. I whoop Batman's ass.
Yeah.
I whoop Batman's ass. I whooped Batman's
It's more real than a lot of pop. No, it really
true,
is. It
yeah.
really is. Yeah, it's like what people say. It's like the most authentic music is stuff that's not gonna sell. You know.
What does authenticity mean? And also, like, what makes something, like, real, you know? And, like, what actually gets you thinking about the world? Does like, a pop track that, like, sounds really good make me, like, think about my life? Or does this make me think about my life? And which one of those is, like, as an artist, which one of those do you value? Which one do you prioritize? And, like, finding sort of the middle ground between, like, yeah, representing...
Batman beat the hell out of me and knocked me to the floor. I got back up and knocked him to the floor. He was being such a jack
Yeah, no, Viper gets me thinking about his hops. The reason why pop music is ultimately worth studying is because, yeah, pop music represents a group of people coming together to make something that they believe will be genuinely compelling enough to, like, move money in this way. And maybe not even so much just move money, but, like, because that's the thing, it's not just about moving money. A lot of pop musicians actually have a really deep appreciation for music, even
Right.
some, like, weirder music. Pop musicians want to make good music, whether they want to make good music to move money or because they just, like, see themselves a certain kind of way. That's whatever. At the end of the day, pop music does quite literally represent an interpretation. It represents someone's, like, idea of their own life. The thing that's really valuable about music that quote-unquote doesn't sound good is that art isn't just about the product, it's about, like, what the product, like, encodes. And I guess I use the word encodes because it's like, well, yeah, because it's like if it was made in FL Studio, if it was made in a fucking, you know, on a 4-track tape recorder, if it was made on whatever, and, like, why are these material conditions available? Like, what is, you know, like, that's the thing. It's like art is like a historical object, you know? It can be studied.
No, it's true. Like, that's the thing. It's just like that is kind of what's frustrating about talking about art sometimes, is that there's a lot of talking points that I feel like are kind of dumb, and a lot of arguments about art that are kind of dumb that, like, kind of do, like, actually mean something a little bit. And I think one of those is that kind of, like, damn! Wow! How did I get here? Hold on! Don't play the because then I definitely will forget.
There are lots of people who say who like art because who say that the best art is the art that embodies a certain set of aesthetic principles. But there are also people who are super annoying that, like, won't listen to art that they, like, don't vibe with or whatever. That's the thing. The point of art isn't for it to sound good to you. The point of art is for it to like resonate with people, right? So you should want to, even if you don't like a song, if somebody's playing it, you know, and it means something to them and they're telling you like why they like this song and the first time they heard it and blah blah blah, that's like a beautiful thing.
Art doesn't have to be good, right? And it's like if you listen to a lot of like interpretations of modern art by like people like Dennis Prager or whatever the fuck, right? They'll always talk about how like, oh yeah, no, this isn't art, blah 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 blah, this isn't art. Or even if you don't listen to Dennis Prager, like people just do like like people just do say that about art all the time. Like I say that about art all the time. And that's the thing, right? That's kind of the whole point of art. Like that's the thing, is like kind of the whole point of art now really isn't so much making the art and showing off the technical prowess, because like that's kind of what part of what postmodernism is all about. Like it's not about really creating anything new now. It's about kind of like it's a lot of art that's made now, the point of it is for you to look at it and say that's not art. Like you know, like you know what I mean. That's kind of the point, right?
No, it is about his hops.
Yeah, no,
he had to make a whole song about it.
All art's about communicating how good you are at basketball.
Art doesn't have to be good, and in particular, people who talk about art, people like Dennis Prager and all this stuff, people who like talk about art as though it is supposed to conform to like these particular sets of ideals in order to be quote unquote good art. That's like kind of that's essentialism. That's which, you know, if I want to be really essential about it in a kind of tongue-in-cheek way, fascism.
No,
right?
but it literally is.
It literally
I have very
is
strong
fascism
opinions about that.
This idea that like your conformity to particular aesthetics is what makes your life meaningful. That is fascism.
No, and this is why low-key, unironically, quote unquote cancel culture is actually kind of fascist. But don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody on Twitter I said that.
Yeah. And we're not trying to say that we're like the smartest people ever, because we're obviously not, but that's the thing, right? The cinema, right? The local cinema. This is what we think.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not so much that like the things we think are the most correct or the most whatever, but they are a reflection of what like we it's a reflection of how we interpret our lives, you know, and like what we're doing, you know. So like, do you get it, you know?
Yeah, no.
Do you see